Welcome back to FNM TV Mixxx. Mixxx is going to be a recap of some of our matches over the last month that you guys haven't been privy to. The recordings have been going on. I just haven't had enough time to do all of these. We have matchup Patrick Holland versus Tom Smiley. Pat Holland will be on the play and starting off with his Island and Preordain. Preordain searching up two cards. One is going to be a Go for the Throat. He's going to send both of them to the bottom and draw a new card, which looks to be a Tectonic Edge. So Pat's going to ship it on over to Tom. Tom debating his land choice for the turn. Drops Inkmoth Nexus. You can take two things away from that drop. Either he doesn't have many other colored mana, or he's going to want to be very aggressive with that Inkmoth to start off with. So Pat plays a Drowned Catacomb and brings in his Despise. Despise will miss, seeing 5 lands, an Oblivion Ring, and a Sword of Feast and Famine. With Neo Cawblade, as I like to refer to it as, you have a lot more creature matchup and a lot more swords in your deck than previously, where you really needed to have one of each with the searchability of Stoneforge Mystic. So Tom will play a Seachrome Coast and go in for 1 more infect damage, bringing Patrick Holland up to 2. Patrick starts his turn drawing into a swamp. He'll play a swamp for the turn, staring around, and pass it on over to Tom. Tom plays another colorless land, plays his Tectonic Edge, animate his Inkmoth, and swing in, bring Patrick up to his 3rd poison counter. So Patrick keeps hitting his lands off the draw, sitting on that Go for the Throat in his hand, which does not do anything against that Inkmoth Nexus right now. Tom will drop his Island, his land for the turn, pay the blue Tectonic Edge on my Drowned Catacomb. Drowned Catacomb hits the grave, and 1 more infect goes in, bringing me up to 4. So Patrick drops his Tectonic Edge. Big against that Inkmoth Nexus right now. Tom animates Inkmoth and goes in. Patrick cannot animate Tectonic Edge. There's only 3 lands on. A little bit of a misplay showing there. Tom drops his Tech Edge and pass it over to Pat. Pat draws into a Ponder. And off the Ponder, Pat knows he can just go ahead after seeing his hand previously and constant land drops. Not only that, not many people counter Ponders. So Pat's going to keep the 3 on top that he get to see. Feeling confident in that Tech Edge on board to shut down remaining plan. Pat draws in another Mana Leak, having 2. Tectonic Edge on the Dark. Nope, he's going to go for the Tectonic Edge. Tom untaps to start his turn. Bit of a misplay there for Patrick. He should have immediately pulled the trigger on that Inkmoth Nexus to get it off board, especially with Tom's Tech Edge on board. And before dropping his land for the turn, he could have made a big play there. But that's what it is. Patrick draws into a Creeping Tar Pit, and it seems like it can be race time. But Pat, I think, is now sitting at 5 or 6 poison counters. Already halfway there in this game. Not completely over. Black has tons of outs. Pat's going to Mana Leak that out. Doesn't want to see a sword hit board. Also may have been trying to get him to pay another Mana Leak and stop that infect damage turn after turn. 6 comes in, drops a Grave Titan. Already knows he's facing down a Oblivion Ring. So the more damage, just trying to get on board, the better. Oblivion Ring has to come out here. Tom faces a huge problem. Oblivion Ring comes out and hits Grave Titan. 1 infect goes in, bringing up to 6 and or 7 at this point. I believe it's 7. 1, Preordain, searching for answers. Hits none of them. probably digging for a Doomblade at this point. Drawn to a Jace. Jace Balerion will hit the board, and Pat will draw a card for turn. Seems to be a Despise, pay an additional black, or will he? In for 4. Tom will take his first damage of the game, going down to 16. What are your opinions on the matchup, guys? Please in the comment section below, let us know how you feel about black-blue against Cawblade and the matchups that they have in this format. I personally think it's a pretty positive matchup. They're a little bit more creature reliant right now. And if you're creature reliant going against any black deck, that's pretty positive. And a second Inkmoth Nexus. Into the Royal, not helping the cause. Another... Oh, he finally hits a Tech Edge after misplaying the first one. Four damage goes in. Well, it seems like the Hero Blade Hold's going to go to the grave. Despise, pretty key, keeping that off. Not like it matters, because Go for the Third's been useless in Pat's hand the entire game. Being nice to have a target for it at this point. So Tom will play a Celestial Colonnade. Comes in tapped. He'll animate 2 Inkmoth Nexuses. Gonna swing in, and I will Tech Edge 1 and go up to 8 poison. J-Straw. Still not hitting that Doomblade. Inquisition and Kozilek. That's going to hit the Oblivion Ring at the moment. Pat will go in for 4 more damage with zombie tokens. 2 2s hitting in there. Bringing Tom down to 8. Inkmoth Nexus getting activated again. I'm going to pay 2 to equip, and Pat will immediately into the Royal that back to his hand. Still not hitting anything entirely relevant. Creeping Tar Pit would have been doing a whole lot if he'd been swinging with one earlier. 6 more damage at this point would mean swinging in for a game at this point in time. 2. Right now you have to go for the throat that. Swinging for 7. Leaving Tom at 1. And I'm at 9 poison, can't do anything with those Go for the Throats. 1 additional swing would have meant game with that Tar Pit instead of waiting until that final turn to make the swing. Math should have been done out in the head. The kicker wasn't necessarily for Into the Royal. that point in time. But that will be the match. Well, that'll be game 1 of the match. Follow along video 2